look at that hole right there in the sky. Look at that hole right there in the sky. Hey, Lisa, how you doing?
Amid the sorrow and devastation caused by the ongoing conflict between Israel and seven armed forces, with cries of grief and resentment against war echoing all around, a mysterious supernatural event unfolded, leaving many in awe. Thousands of worshippers gathered at the Temple Mount in Jerusalem to pray when an inexplicable phenomenon occurred before their eyes. According to multiple reports, an image resembling Jesus Christ appeared in the sky, surrounded by a host of angels flying above the Temple Mount. This supernatural sight quickly drew widespread attention, not only from religious communities but also from international media and observers. The miraculous appearance sparked numerous discussions and debates regarding its true meaning. Many began to wonder, could this be a sign that the ancient prophecies in the Bible are beginning to be fulfilled? Are we witnessing confirmation that the second coming of Christ is near? The event has stirred deep reflections among devout Christians and believers around the world, prompting them to ponder the future. Some view this as a divine omen, a warning of larger, more significant events to come. Others speculate that this supernatural occurrence might be a harbinger of the rise of the Antichrist, the first signal of the end times as foretold in prophetic scripture. In many religious beliefs, particularly Christianity, the arrival of the Antichrist and the onset of the end times are seen as the final stages before the world enters a new era filled with trials and upheaval. Believers worldwide have been not only overwhelmed by the event, but also drawn into contemplation about its potential significance. They wonder if this could be a sign that God is sending an important message, reminding humanity to stay strong in faith and prepare spiritually for the challenges ahead. Amid the shock and reverence surrounding this supernatural event, many are left in a state of uncertainty, asking, what will happen next? Could we be standing on the brink of a significant turning point in human history? A moment that biblical prophecies have predicted for thousands of years? This event is sure to remain a topic of heated discussion and debate in the days to come. Regardless of its true meaning, the supernatural sight at the Temple Mount in Jerusalem has touched the hearts of millions around the world, compelling them to reflect on the possible connection between this phenomenon and the ancient prophecies. Stay with us as we continue to follow this unfolding event, and be sure to subscribe to the channel to stay informed about any new developments. Thank you for watching, and if you believe this is a sign from God, leave your prayer of Amen in the comments section. Jerusalem, with its thousand-year history, has always been a place of deep reverence, and even now, it remains unchanged. The Holy Land echoes daily with the prayers of hundreds of worshipers. Walking through the Temple Mount, one can easily witness the sorrow, the tears, and the heartfelt devotion of those praying there. It is clear that no believer from any faith could stand in this sacred place without yearning for a life of peace and happiness. Yet, paradoxically, this very place, where prayers for peace rise constantly, is also the very ground where the sounds of gunfire and violence are ever present. Jerusalem, a city where peace is so desperately sought, is also where conflict never seems to cease. Each day, the hopes for tranquility are overshadowed by the harsh reality of war, and the prayers of the faithful often compete with the relentless sound of gunfire and explosions. One day, seemingly like any other, with prayers resonating throughout the air, something extraordinary and inexplicable happened. In a moment, the usual hum of whispered prayers fell silent. All eyes turned skyward. Something mysterious had appeared above them, a strange light, hovering in the sky. The light emitted an otherworldly glow, captivating everyone's attention. Accompanying this light was a deep, resonating sound that seemed to echo not just in the air, but within the souls of those present. The sound was profound, almost as if it was speaking directly to the hearts of the faithful. It was a sound that evoked awe and reverence, yet it also stirred an unsettling feeling of fear. The atmosphere became charged with a mixture of sacred awe and growing anxiety. As suddenly as the light had appeared, it vanished. In the instant the light faded, a faint tremor was felt beneath everyone's feet. It wasn't a violent earthquake, but a subtle shift, enough to cause people to pause in confusion. People exchanged bewildered glances, their faces reflecting the growing sense of dread that something terrible might be unfolding. Somewhere in the crowd, a few voices rose in screams of terror. What is happening? This question seemed to hang in the air, unspoken yet palpable in every gaze. Some people were visibly shaken, while others stood frozen in shock. Was this the prelude to some cataclysmic event? Was this mysterious light a sign from the heavens, a divine message, or something more ominous? The fear began to spread like a wave through the crowd. Some were paralyzed by uncertainty. Others began murmuring prayers louder than before, and a few even ran, terrified by what they had witnessed. But there was no clear answer to the questions filling their minds. Was this a supernatural sign, a warning, or just an extraordinary natural phenomenon that no one had ever seen? The tension in the air was almost tangible, as every individual present at the Temple Mount grappled with the meaning of what they had just witnessed. It was a moment that transcended mere understanding, touching something far deeper within them, a sense of vulnerability in the face of the unknown, of being small in a world filled with forces beyond human control. Jerusalem has long been a place where history and faith intersect, where the sacred and the violent exist side by side. But this event, the mysterious light in the sky, the strange sound that echoed in the hearts of the faithful, and the trembling beneath their feet, will stand out as an extraordinary moment. It was a phenomenon that no one could easily explain, and its meaning remains a mystery to all who were there. This event didn't just stir questions about faith and destiny, it also reminded everyone of the profound mystery of existence and how, in the grand scheme of things, humans are small and vulnerable, standing in awe before the unexplained and the divine. Those present that day will likely carry the memory of this moment with them for the rest of their lives. A moment when the ordinary turned into something sacred and mysterious, and the boundaries between heaven and earth seemed to blur. Many sacred sites in the city of Jerusalem have been threatened by a series of tremors, causing widespread panic among its residents. An atmosphere of anxiety has engulfed the entire city as people are left wondering what might happen next. Meanwhile, the conflict between Israel and seven armed forces continues to escalate without any sign of de-escalation. Israel has become the focal point of global attention, drawing the eyes of the world. Mysterious events have been occurring one after another, leading many to speculate whether these are signs from heaven. These signs often appear during critical moments in history, much like when God instructed Noah to build the great ark before the great flood. Despite Noah's warnings, no one believed him, and the flood eventually wiped out everything. Or like when Jesus stood on the Mount of Olives and told his disciples about the destruction of Jerusalem. What heaven foretells will surely come to pass. The pressing question now is, what is heaven trying to remind us of through these strange occurrences at the spiritual heart of Jerusalem? Not only are the residents of Jerusalem confused and anxious, but believers around the world are also seeking the true meaning behind these events, attempting to answer the questions swirling in their minds. Religious leaders and theologians have begun to gather, turning to the scriptures to find explanations that could shed light on the significance of these phenomena. Some have pointed to passages from Luke 21:27-28, which seem to resonate with what is happening. At that time, they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. When these things begin to take place, stand up and lift up your heads because your redemption is drawing near. While the city of Jerusalem buzzes with discussions and debates over the meaning of these strange signs, other areas of Israel continue to endure fierce battles with hostile forces. The tension in the Middle East grows by the day, and news of the escalating conflict, coupled with reports of unusual phenomena in Jerusalem, only heightens the sense of urgency and instability. It feels as though a frenzied dialogue is taking place between heaven and earth, between light and darkness, prompting people to wonder if these events are somehow interconnected. Could this be a call from heaven, urging humanity to seek peace in a time of division? The unusual combination of physical and supernatural events, along with the tremors shaking the ground, has left many feeling a strong sense of urgency to reflect on what is happening. Could this be a pivotal moment in history where the earthly and the divine intersect, where the signs from heaven are reminding us of an uncertain future? As experts, theologians, and religious leaders continue to search for explanations, ordinary people are engaging in conversations, both online and in real life, hoping to find answers to the pressing questions of their time. Despite the mystery surrounding these events, the most urgent need remains peace and reconciliation amid the ongoing conflicts. In a world full of turmoil, the desire for peace is not just a dream, but an essential need that must be fulfilled. Biblical scholars have begun revisiting the prophecies found in sacred texts where Jesus warned of the signs of the end times. One of the most significant prophecies can be found in Revelation 6:12-14. When the Lamb opened the sixth seal, there was a great earthquake. The sun turned black like sackcloth made of goat hair. The whole moon turned blood red, and the stars in the sky fell to earth as figs drop from a fig tree when shaken by a strong wind. These frightening images are seen as harbingers of greater events to come. In Mark 13:7-8, Jesus further cautioned, "When you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes in various places and famines." Could the signs happening now in Jerusalem be only the prelude to more significant events? Jesus warned that these are not yet the end, but rather the beginning of the signs leading to the final days. As interest in the supernatural events in Jerusalem grows, so too does the expectation in the hearts of the faithful. It seems that we, the followers of Christ, are standing on the threshold of a new era in the history of salvation. In this time of great trials, the prophecies seem to be coming true before our very eyes. Each morning we wake to news of wars and conflicts raging across the Middle East, the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine, and devastating natural disasters in places like the United States and Asia. Jerusalem, the city where heaven and earth meet, appears to be sending us numerous messages and signs. Are the recent signs in Jerusalem warnings of dark times ahead? Are the prophecies slowly becoming reality as we find ourselves standing on God's grand stage, needing to prepare spiritually for even greater challenges to come? After more than 2,000 years since Jesus Christ was crucified, buried, and resurrected, supernatural events have begun to appear once again, filling the faithful and the residents of Jerusalem with wonder and fear. Some eyewitnesses have reported seeing a figure resembling Jesus walking along the Via Dolorosa, the path he took before his crucifixion. Others have claimed to see angels appear while they were praying at the Western Wall, the holiest site in the city. These miraculous appearances have caused a stir in the religious community, prompting many questions and calls for answers. The people of Jerusalem are caught in a mix of anticipation and fear as they gather to discuss the meaning of these events, reflecting on the ancient promises found within the pages of Scripture. The recent occurrences, shrouded in a mysterious aura, have led many to look toward the sky and wonder if they are witnessing the fulfillment of prophecy. Could the time have come, as foretold, when the signs in heaven and on earth are beginning to manifest, heralding the imminent return of Christ? The expectation and fear blend in the hearts of those in Jerusalem as they ponder these questions. Are we standing on the verge of Christ's promised return? Have the signs begun to unfold as described in Scripture? These questions remain unanswered, but they are undoubtedly awakening a deep spiritual reflection and a renewed zeal among millions of believers worldwide. We still do not fully understand the exact meaning of the supernatural events that occurred in the skies over Jerusalem, but it is clear that they are unlikely to be mere fabrications or hoaxes. The images and videos captured by witnesses make it difficult to deny their significance. The presence of Jesus not only stunned those who were present, but also evoked deep feelings of reverence and worship, especially in the context of the chaos and instability that grips the region. As these videos and images of Jesus and the angels appearing in Jerusalem spread across social media, a heated debate quickly arose. People gathered to discuss and reflect on the meaning of this event for the future of humanity. Could this be the fulfillment of the prophecy regarding the return of Jesus in the establishment of his kingdom on earth, as described in Revelation 21, 1 through 4? Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. I saw the holy city, the New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, "Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away." However, there are still many skeptics who question the authenticity of these events and focus on whether this could be a grand deception orchestrated by the Antichrist, as Jesus warned us to be wary of. Jesus reminded us to stay vigilant against signs that could be manipulated and used by dark forces. While many remain devoted and full of faith, feeling an undeniable spiritual presence, others argue that what has occurred could be an illusion designed to lead humanity astray, possibly by the Antichrist. This internal struggle between hope and doubt continues to grow as people wonder whether this phenomenon is a divine call to humanity, urging us to seek reconciliation and peace in a time of crisis, or a forewarning of impending judgment. Could humanity be preparing for monumental events? And is what we are witnessing part of a new era of revelation and fulfillment of biblical prophecies? The larger question now is, are we on the verge of witnessing greater events? And is this a sign that the new era foretold in Revelation is upon us? Are these signs pointing to the imminent return of Jesus to fulfill his mission? Or are they warnings of the trials and tribulations humanity is about to face? Whether it is the unshakable faith of the believers or the anxiety of the skeptics, these recent events have sparked a wave of deep contemplation and discussion about what we are truly witnessing. Both believers and those who are uncertain realize that we are standing at the threshold of significant challenges, and the answers to these pressing questions will undoubtedly shape the future of humanity. You may not know, but the supernatural scene we mentioned at the beginning of the video was captured by witnesses at a location deeply sacred and significant to the life of Jesus, the Dome of the Rock. Witnesses recounted the astonishing details of this appearance, leaving everyone in awe and prompting deep reflection on its meaning. In the soft glow of the late afternoon sun, the Dome of the Rock gleamed beneath the brilliant light, but it was the miraculous sight unfolding in the sky above that truly left everyone in awe. A figure slowly descended from the heavens, standing out against the deep blue sky. It was Jesus Christ, his tall, strong figure, graceful yet powerful. His long, wavy hair cascaded gently over his shoulders, and his face, with deep, compassionate eyes, radiated serenity and peace. His full beard added to his majestic appearance, yet his expression was one of kindness. Light seemed to emanate from within him, not from the sun, but from his very being, enveloping him in a radiant aura. Beside him, a host of angels in pure white robes, their glowing wings soft and ethereal, hovered around, creating an otherworldly and breathtaking scene. The angels did not speak, but a heavenly melody filled the air, adding to the sacredness and mystery of the moment. Everyone gathered in the courtyard below stood frozen in place, their eyes wide, unable to believe what was unfolding before them. Some fell to their knees, overwhelmed with reverence, as tears streamed down their faces, as if they were in the presence of the Savior himself. Others could only gaze upwards, their mouths moving soundlessly, caught in a whirlwind of awe, confusion, and rising hope. Their hearts pounded in their chests, filled with the undeniable belief that they were witnessing something divine, beyond the understanding of humanity. The atmosphere around them seemed to freeze in time, and in that moment, all the worries and sorrows of life faded away. The worshippers kneeling felt a wave of peace wash over them, a sacred presence emanating from Jesus, calling them to embrace the path of faith and salvation. It was a moment of profound spiritual connection, where heaven and earth seemed to meet, leaving every soul present filled with a sense of awe, and deep contemplation about the divine. Returning to reality, the world today is facing increasing tensions, with conflicts showing no signs of abating, greatly affecting the daily lives of people in war-torn regions. However, the images of Jesus and the angels seem to have provided a powerful source of motivation and renewed faith in God's presence in everyday life, giving people hope for a peaceful existence under His guidance. These divine visions have reignited the belief that, despite the chaos, a life of peace with God is still attainable. For those living in despair, these miraculous scenes have offered a glimmer of hope, encouraging them to believe that a future of peace and security is possible. Many have felt a rekindling of their faith, a new hope for a better future where violence and suffering will be replaced by love and reconciliation. The sight of Jesus and the angels has inspired in them the desire for a world ruled by peace and justice, where God's protection and grace are ever present. Yet the stark contrast between this profound hope and the harsh realities of everyday life has prompted many to reflect. While the divine appearance of Jesus may have inspired faith, the sounds of gunfire and conflict continue to echo across many regions. This raises a significant question. What does the appearance of Jesus and the angels truly mean? Is this a sign of a great change about to unfold? A message that humanity must prepare for greater challenges ahead? Or is it simply a reminder to hold fast to faith and hope despite the difficulties? The appearance of Jesus and the angels at this time brings not only hope, but also deep contemplation about the meaning behind it. Are we being called to reflect on our lives, to seek peace and salvation in the midst of turmoil? These supernatural events have sparked numerous questions about the future of humanity, leading many to wonder, could this be the sign of a new era where Jesus will return to fulfill the promises of the Scriptures? It is often said that in Jerusalem, there is a direct line to heaven where every prayer of the faithful can reach the ears of God. Perhaps heaven has indeed responded to those prayers. Reports of supernatural experiences, including mystical sights and sounds, have surfaced not only in Jerusalem, but also in places like the United States, Canada, and the UK. These events have led many to wonder, is God acting in the midst of the ongoing wars and global unrest? Could this be a divine warning, urging humanity to prepare for future tribulations and challenges? In the moment when witnesses saw the image of Jesus and the angels, they felt a deep sense of love and protection. Yet within that sacred moment, warnings also echoed in their minds. Jesus had forewarned in Mark 13. False Christs and false prophets will arise and perform signs and wonders, to lead astray, if possible, even the elect. Be on guard. I have told you all things beforehand. The tension between hope and doubt stirred within the hearts of those present. The reactions to this extraordinary event varied. Some fell to their knees crying and praying, overwhelmed with reverence, feeling deeply connected to God. For them, this was a sign of salvation, a beacon of hope in dark times. However, others were skeptical, unsure of the authenticity of what they were witnessing. They debated whether this was truly a divine presence or merely an unexplained phenomenon. No matter how the event was interpreted, it left a profound impact on those who experienced it. The encounter awakened deep reflections about faith and the meaning of life. For many, it served as a reminder that even in the darkest times, the light of hope can reach those who remain faithful to God. It reinforced the belief that unwavering faith in God can never be extinguished, even when the world is engulfed in suffering and turmoil. This event was not just a mystical occurrence, but also a powerful reminder of the strength of faith and hope. It demonstrated that even amidst the storms of life, there are signs of salvation for those who remain steadfast in their devotion to God. Dear loving God, I come before you today with a humble heart, filled with trust and hope. In moments of weakness and confusion, I turn to you as my source of strength, my protector against all fears and worries. Please keep my heart steadfast in faith, so that even through the hardest times I may always see your light shining, guiding me forward. Lord, help me to place all my trust in you, even when life is full of trials and storms. I know you are always by my side, surrounding me with your unconditional love and lifting me up when I am burdened. In the darkness, may I see the hope that comes from you, and in the chaos, may your peace calm my soul. I surrender to you all my anxieties, fears, and doubts. Please help me always to look toward you, trusting in the good plans you have for me. May my faith never waver, and may my hope remain strong in your presence. Doubt about the divine phenomenon could not diminish the weight of the sacred moment experienced by many who witnessed it. For those present, the sense of faith and hope seemed to grow stronger than ever. Within their hearts and spirits, a new determination emerged. They believed that the truth of God could never be deceived by the trickery of the Antichrist. Amid the uncertainty and chaos, the aura of God shone brightly and touched the hearts of those who witnessed it. It was a divine presence that no illusion from the Antichrist could ever reach. One witness shared his experience, stating that he felt a profound peace, something he had never experienced before. It wasn't just an ordinary peace, but a spiritual sense that flooded his soul. The pain and weakness he had carried seemed to completely vanish. His testimony sparked a renewed enthusiasm and deepened faith in God for many who were there. They felt that the presence of God was not just a fleeting moment, but a living sign of divine protection and love. However, alongside this belief, there were also skeptics who questioned the authenticity of what they were witnessing. Some argued that the strange images and strong emotions could easily have been fabricated by the Antichrist, who would use all his powers to impersonate God and deceive the faithful. They warned that the Antichrist could exploit supernatural signs to lead believers astray from the path that God had laid out. This division between belief and doubt began to spread, adding tension to the atmosphere. In response to this growing uncertainty, many turned to the Bible in search of answers. They delved into the sacred scriptures, where prophecies and descriptions of signs had been written, finding that the words seemed to come alive again in the present. For them, the Bible was not just an ancient text, but a source of inspiration, guiding them through the confusion of the current moment. The prophecies seemed to be unfolding right before their eyes, giving new meaning to the tense situation. Those seeking answers in the Bible felt that this was a pivotal moment, where God's promises and warnings were beginning to be fulfilled. They believed that in the midst of the world's chaos, God's teachings were the only compass to help them discern truth from deception. The presence of God, while igniting hope, was also a reminder that they must always be vigilant against the schemes of the Antichrist. Despite the doubts and rising tensions, the sacred moment remained deeply imprinted in the hearts of those who witnessed it. For them, it was not just a supernatural experience, but a turning point in their faith journey, a reminder of the power of hope and the importance of seeking truth in uncertain times. And though the truth was challenged by skepticism, faith in God continued to shine brightly, guiding those who sought it on the path of faith and hope. At a time when the world, and especially Jerusalem, is grappling with countless crises and challenges, the extraordinary spiritual events occurring in the Holy City have reignited hope and anticipation among the faithful. Believers are filled with renewed trust that the ancient prophecies will soon be fulfilled, that Christ will return to lift them into a kingdom where suffering, sickness, and war no longer exist. This vision offers comfort and strengthens their faith, guiding them toward a future free from uncertainty. While many may seek answers to these supernatural events, the most important thing now is to cultivate wisdom and deep understanding to discern what is truly at stake. Believers recognize that the current moment is not just a collection of physical signs, but also a profound spiritual lesson. The signs from heaven, as foretold in the scriptures, have begun to manifest in our world, challenging human logic and comprehension. These miraculous occurrences remind us of God's promise of both judgment and redemption. God's promise echoes across the earth, not only as a warning, but also as an invitation for us to draw closer to Him and receive His grace. The faithful continuously hope and pray for the day of Christ's return, when His light will shine upon them, bringing redemption and deliverance from the suffering of this world. But this waiting is not passive. It is a reminder that God's presence is already with us, that His glorious light is guiding us through the trials and pains of life. The divine presence of God is not something distant or abstract, but a living source of inspiration for all who believe. The events unfolding, while mysterious and difficult to explain, offer reassurance that we are not alone in this journey. God's light will always be there, not only to illuminate our path, but also to strengthen the faith and resolve of His followers as they face the challenges of the world. More than ever, these sacred events remind us that Even in a world filled with crises and chaos, we have an unwavering foundation, our faith in God. The signs from heaven are not mere coincidences, but a call to return to faith, reverence, and the love of God. They remind us of the redemption that has been promised and that through these trials we are being guided toward a better future, a world without suffering. So while we continue to seek wisdom and answers for what is happening, the most important thing remains holding steadfast to our faith and hope. We must know that no matter what challenges arise, God's light will never fade. He will always be present to guide and protect us, bringing peace and strength to overcome all adversity. These sacred events are not just signs of change, but promises of salvation for those who remain steadfast and faithful to God. So while we continue to seek wisdom and answers for what is happening, the most important thing remains holding steadfast to our faith and hope. We must know that no matter what challenges arise, God's light will never fade. He will always be present to guide and protect us, bringing peace and strength to overcome all adversity. These sacred events are not just signs of change, but promises of salvation for those who remain steadfast and faithful to God. Lord, protect me from all dangers. Keep me safe in your love and shelter. Give me strength to overcome every trial, peace in my heart to face challenges, and unwavering faith in your presence in every moment. Help me remember that you are always by my side, surrounding me with boundless mercy. In moments of weakness, lift me up. In times of confusion, guide my way. And in times of fear, Lord, be my strong refuge. EMI Fund.